Good evening, everyone, and welcome to tonight's Boys from the Baltic Star. Look, we're here, we're back, and we are punk. Some of us are. When John got in, I was just talking about wine, which is the most unpunk thing. But luckily, he bought the punk, so we're feeling more aggressive. We're ready to tear down anything that stands in the way of having a good time and equality, things like that. Thank you for joining us this evening. If it's your first time here, welcome, and you're very, very welcome. We like to think we're friendly, welcoming, and chill, and all those things. So please feel free to chat if you want to chat, and you'll find that we might be interacting with it as well. Or feel free to lurk. You're equally as welcome, and we love our lurks as well. There's a red sun there if you click on the red sun, and the red sun gives you some options to spend some points if you've got points. The ones that are sort of pinkish actually play music, which I don't think any of the others can see. So this will be quite fun. Oh yeah, let's try one out. Let's get Benji.
I think we do in Roll20.
Oh yeah, tell me if you lot can hear this. Hang on.
No, nothing. No, I can't hear it.
So this will be fun if Fids or someone starts playing these when people are trying to talk. But it's Ben's night off, so he will drink, so he has to drink. So you got options there. Spend your points if you want. Hang out if you want. That's what it's all about. It's Saturday night, and on Saturday we play lots of different sorts of games, and it's an absolute pleasure tonight. And I'll go into it in a second what we're doing. But we have got a very special guest back for a second time. Very much friend of the channel, channel adjacent. On my nights off, I like to pop into what they're doing, and you should too. We'll give them space to talk about that in a minute as well. I think we've got an exclamation mark for it, haven't we, Socks? Socks is very good with the exclamation mark stuff. She'll get on with it. But it's an absolute, there we go. See? It's an absolute treat to have John from Rook and Rasp. Oh, it's got Rook and Rasp with us this evening. So check them out. And he will be talking about the game in a minute, and you'll be able to check that out. And you'll be able to see it in action, hopefully. Just don't, whatever you do, this is always a warning when you watch us, don't take the way that we play it as the official way that it's played. Because we have got the designer here, so actually it's as close as it's going to get. But in my experience, we're not very good at showing a proper way of doing it. So look to what John does, not us. Okay. And if you like what you see, there'll be ways of getting hold of it, I would imagine still. Even though it was successfully kickstarted. A round of applause for that. Very good. So anyway, who are we? My name is Luke. I'm in the bottom right-hand corner. Hello. And I'm playing a guy called Ricky Roundhouse. Ricky Roundhouse is a big lumberjack kind of guy. He's the tallest man in any room, and he's currently holding on to a punk god's comb to run through his hair. I chose it because then I can just be jealous of the whole situation. And he's also I can live vicariously through Ricky. He's a beautiful ginger man, and it's an absolute treat to play him. Moving on above me is my brother from another mother, the housewife's favourite. Especially the punk housewife's favourite tonight. It is Ewan. Good evening, Ewan. How are you?
Hey, Luke. I'm very well, thanks. I'm excited. After our season roundup. We've drawn a line under season 2, but I'm mostly excited to get back to some Gutterpunk.
It felt like you were really being your authentic self last time we played it, Ewan.
I'm not sure how to take that, if I'm honest. I'm always my authentic self. It's whether my characters are just a reflection of me or not.
It's just the man grinding you down normally, isn't it? But this one, you get to fight that.
That's true. Accurate.
Who are you playing as? Who is your authentic self?
Exactly. I get to fight back as Maddie Splatter, punk rock purist, somewhat stylish, but tattered clothes, and with her blue denim jacket over the top, and Liberty spikes, no haircut, and bassist.
The most important part of any band.
Well, you say that because you're a bassist.
That is true.
Which is why I was so happy to steal the role off you.
It's nice that someone else enjoyed
it. Thanks, Luke. I do appreciate it.
You did good, Nana. It's a pleasure to have you back with us as always, Ian. What a Joy. The channel would be the same without you. Speaking of someone else who the channel would not be the same without, we would lose most of our viewership because I've heard most people like to close the screen, turn it up loud, and sit on their speakers like Howard Stern goes. It is the smartest man with the sexiest voice in any room. He lives his entire life in the Twin Peaks dream sequence. It is, yeah, exactly this. It is that staggeringly amazing, Ben. Good evening, Ben. How are you?
Good evening. I'm well, thank you. Yes, a reasonably successful day, which is always nice. But I've been looking forward to this for a while. I think this is going to be fun.
And it's fun because you're playing a man of many talents, Ben. Who are you playing?
I play Johnny. He's a sort of very old-fashioned, old-style kind of punk rocker, from his checkered trousers all the way up to his mohawk style, a weird little goatee. Young guy, very cheerful, very optimistic, and utterly enthusiastic for throwing himself into the next adventure.
Oh, enthusiasm is very much his middle name, I feel.
Yeah, a lot of that. Yeah, he's cheerful, he's upbeat. I like him.
Good. And we like you. Um, the person who's making our trilogy a foursome tonight, um, who is he's the Alien Resurrection to our Alien 1, 2, and 3. He's the Indiana Jones and the Curse of the Crystal Skull to our good trilogy. He's where Die Hard went wrong. He is, of course, the designer of this excellent game. It is John. Good evening, John. How are you?
Good evening. I'm doing good. I'm curious about the whole Crystal Skull part, and I actually liked Alien Resurrection, so that one was okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm doing wonderful, and I'm very happy to be here to run for the first time, actually, on an actual play, a second episode of Gutterpunk. So thank you for the opportunity to do that. I'm always happy. I love coming and hanging out and sitting in ever so often in the audience for boys from the Baltic Star. Uh, this is going to be interesting. I'm looking forward to it. But enough about me. Let's talk about the game. So Gutterpunk is a storyteller style, cinematic style RPG, meaning that in many other styles of games, there is a lot of hard points in the game, such as you versus the environment, you versus other characters, money and inventory, and all these things play a much larger role in a lot of the higher structure RPGs. But in a storyteller style RPG, a lot of that melts away, and we are dealing with how the story interacts with the characters. You are not rolling against monsters and creatures and other things. You are rolling against the story. And so in this game, the story's difficulty is measured by tempo. And tempo runs from 1 to 11, with about a 5 or 6 being the in between of what you can expect. And that is the difficulty that you are always rolling against. But by rolling against it, you're actually rolling against me. I will also be rolling a d6. You will roll a d6. You will add one of your stats. I will be using tempo of the scene. If you win, tempo goes down, or you can get a point of feedback. If I win, tempo goes up, and I get a point, or I can get a point of feedback. So there is that way of playing through. Now, in Gutterpunk, that mechanics aside, the idea is that you as players are punks from the world. You are a musician, and at some point, in some way, magically, you were transported to another place that is Earth adjacent. I don't like to say that this is an alternate dimension because you're not going to find any building, road, or anything that you could find, in our world there. There are things that are reminiscent of it, but you're never going to find like a specific road or house or anything. This world is populated by its own set of creatures and denizens that are not, they're humanoid, but they are not human. And so you find yourself in this strange landscape banding together with other punks, forming crews and bands, and finding ways to survive. And that is really the story of Gutterpunk, is finding ways to survive in a world where everything else is not on your side. Not necessarily your enemy, but not on your side.
Yeah.
So when last we left this group of punks, you had discovered one day that one of your songs had been stolen. And in, a wonderful punk fashion, made your way to the venue, crashed it, made quite a scene. I believe somebody duct taped a teapot onto the face of the singer of the band that had, stolen your song, and then gotten the crowd riled up and caused great anarchy until the point when the authorities showed up. And that was where we ended last game. Before I get started, does anybody have any questions?
Not at the moment.
No.
Pretty good recap. Yeah, that
Yeah.
cover everything.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think we're there. We know what we're doing and why.
All right. Be sure that everybody should have, at the bare minimum, 2 tokens of feedback.
Yep, I
So
have
be sure
to.
that you are tracking that. Now, I will say part of this game is also making music. Now, I have tried to get books to our players here that also have the riff charts that should have came with that. So now you have the ability to, track your riff yourself. And riffs in this game are the magic of this world. The players hold out their hand, a instrument forms in some form or fashion, whether from the eldritch powers or whatever. And then you can play a song that you can create a magical effect with. The cool part about it is also that those magical effects and the dice that you roll, you can take your roll and actually turn it into a song in the real world. This is my attempt to make, I think, the first RPG that allows you to create music in the real world from the game.
Mm.
So, that said, there is also the change that now this is your second time to play the game, and this is in the book. Usually, the first game I play with people, you get to buy your riffs for free, relatively. Now that we are back, every dice that you need in order to create a riff will cost you 1 point of feedback. Now that can be from you and that can be from your entire team. So if right now as a group you have 6 points of feedback, you could do a 6 dice riff.
Okay.
One of you could. So just throwing that out there, you can share your feedback between each other to make your songs.
Yeah, got it.
All right. So there is now this chaos in the room where you find yourself, this large auditorium where a show was to be televised and was being televised. This band had come out to perform, and obviously everything that took place. Now the air is filled with the smell, the beginning smell, that tinge that you are familiar with of tear gas. Not directly on you, but it's obviously been, canisters have been thrown, whiffs of smoke are flowing through the audience. And the fuzz and the rest of these groups of authority are coming into this room through the doors, from the back, from the behind the stage, and swarming out. These creatures, a lot of them are these large, giant balls of hair. I don't think I can think of one that's in America. There are these things that we call koozies, and they look like little balls with hairs just sticking all out of them
Okay.
that children play with.
Yeah.
It kind of looks like this, but they're giant, larger than the size of a man. And as they roll through the room, whatever they roll over, if it is a person, that person is no longer there. They have disappeared. At the same time, behind them, you hear these high-pitched squeals, and you see these swine-like fellows in blue uniforms walking in behind them, actual snouts on their faces, porcine skin. These are the pigs.
But of course they are.
And the audience is reacting to this. The lights are going out and flickering. You see, of course, the audience is filled with these creatures known as norms. And norms have they look like a perfect image of humanity to some extent, thinking the old Coca-Cola ads or ads from the 50s, almost the Bomber Girl style art of the 1920s,
Right.
that perfect in every way. But for the norm, there's also this inhuman grin always on their face from eyeball to eyeball in many cases, just this unusual grin that can only get bigger. And you see these norms reacting to these things approaching, and in their eyes is the only sense of true emotion. And what you see there is fear as they react to these creatures. Fear, anger, and hatred if they look your way now.
Mm.
So let's go ahead and start off in this scene of chaos with this stage where you are at. And all three of you, I believe, were on the stage at this point.
Certainly I was, yes.
That sounds about right. I was.
So let's go through the group and tell me your character's reaction and what you are doing. So let's go ahead and start off with Luke.
So, what Ricky had done, of course, was he had been the last one up on stage. He's the one that sort of riled up those norms, the ones that were going for their night out on their hen do or whatever it was. And so he had gone up quite excitedly, dragging them up with them, and he was sort of facing all of them. So it would have been almost through their expressions first, their expression showing that he'd have been like the last one going for it, as everyone else stopped, and he's like, "What? Ah." His first reaction would be to push himself forwards to the front, being Ricky, to put himself between the potential danger and the others in the band. He knows they can look after themselves, but it's his natural way. Of course, he's a tall guy, and he wants to sort of mother them almost, like look after them a bit. So he will stand there and try and eyeball the first, not the first. They seem difficult to eyeball, but eyeball the first of the pigs. Like, stare them down defiantly.
All right, and I'm gonna go in order for what I've got on my screen. So Ben.
I can see the pigs and these giant fluffy ball things.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. Are the pigs closer or further away than the balls?
Further away. So they're following up from the behind.
Okay. I'm going to leap to the very front of the stage. Look out over the crowd as a whole, and just scream as loud as I can. See if I can gather everyone's attention. It's going to be a long scream, as long as I can make it.
All right. I will go ahead and pause right there for a moment so we can come back to you on that.
Okay.
And then Ewan, what about for your character?
Maddie will definitely be looking. She'll start off looking for the other two, but I guess given the scream and Ricky's coming up or putting himself between the stage and the fuzz and the pigs, she'll spot them, and then she wants to look for a way out that's not the way that they came in. If that, yeah.
Okay. So we're going to come back around with that in a moment. So I'm going to start off with Ben, and I'm also going to go ahead and let you know. So for the tempo of this scene, this is a great deal of danger in the room.
Yeah.
And we're going to set the tempo at a 9.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Roll your strengths, Ben. Roll your strengths.
There's a little part of me that was kind of hoping for 7, but sure, 9.
So,
Seems fair.
Ben, go ahead and tell me. So you are yelling, and stats in this game, for the audience who weren't here last time, stats in this game are 5 different stats. Each one of them can be applied in a mental, physical, or social situation. And they are bold, caustic, empathetic, loud, and witty. And each one of them covers a different area very easily that you can follow. But so yelling, I'm going to say, definitely falls in that area of being loud.
I concur. Excellent.
All right. So do you have any kicks? Now, kicks in this game are the equivalent of, say, feats in other systems. Do you have any kicks that might assist you in this?
Yes, I think I do.
All right.
I am intending to try the solid lick if I can.
Ooh, okay. Absolutely. So a solid lick is an ancient riff. Now, in the book, I believe the book actually has the full write-up on how it works. It works a little differently. The character sheet has a basic write-up, but essentially, you're going to need to do a
get some
riff
help.
that is a singular note, and that note is a 7. Now, it's not impossible to get there. I believe. Let me double check my book.
It says
really
I need to roll 3 dice, so I suspect that means I need to get some help from someone, don't I?
Yes.
Yeah. And they're both busy, so maybe I can't do that one. I'll tell you what.
Actually, all they gotta do is they give you the point of feedback. So one of them will need to volunteer one of their feedback points.
I'll give
You
it.
can have.
Oh, we're so giving you, unless you can say you can.
Well, I've got 3 written down on my sheet from last time.
there
So
you
if
go.
it seems
Oh, there
fair,
we
then
go. Perfect.
I'll
Then
knock one over.
then we will try it, and I will
Unless
try
they
and roll
reset
3
to
dice.
2.
All right. So 3 dice, which is it should be fairly straightforward. Now the thing is that ancient riffs in this game, they are kicks only. They're not. You have to learn them in order to be able to perform them.
Mhm.
And they break the rules of standard riffs. But you are going to roll 3 dice. You're going to need to get your numbers up to 7. And the thing is that if you're only rolling 3 dice, it lasts for a round. Every round that you want to add to it requires another dice.
Okay, yes. If I can't hold it for long enough to make the escape, you know what? Then in that case, I won't play it because you're right. I won't be able to hold it for long enough to allow the others to scarper or do whatever they want to do. A round wouldn't be enough. So I'm still going to play the note, but I'm not going to play it as a solid lick. I'm just going to try and play a loud single note as best I can to try to grab the attention of everyone, to make a loud roll effectively.
You can have more feedback if you want, Ben.
I think it would burn up a lot for not very much, to be honest.
All right. Well, then let's go ahead and roll. You're rolling with what is your loud?
My loud is 5.
Your loud is 5. All right. Now, if you want to, you can spend a point of feedback to raise your number, or you can actually wait until after we roll as well.
Okay. Well, let's see what we achieve first.
All right. So I'm rolling with the 9 for the tempo of the room.
Oh, that's not too bad. I got a 6, so that's a total of 11.
All right. I rolled a 4 with that 9. That puts me at 13.
Okay, this does not work.
Now, here's the thing. Do you want to spend your feedback to try and raise that up?
No, I don't think I want to burn feedback on that. So having attempted to sort of grab the attention of everyone, and clearly everyone's obviously ignoring me, busy with terrifying koozies and pigs and everything's descending into chaos. I'm going to sort of stand there, just hold that pose for a fraction of a second, and then like, time to leave, and turn my back and run back towards where Maddie is.
All right. Since I won that test, I'm going to turn that win into a point of feedback.
Okay.
Cool.
And so I'm not increasing the tempo. I'm not taking it up to 10.
That's good.
Ewan, you had said that for your character, you were looking around for a way out. So I would say that's being witty. Let's go ahead and roll your witty versus the tempo of the scene.
Cool.
I rolled a 3, so that puts me at a 12.
Oh. Well, I too got a 6, which puts me with my 7 at 13.
There you go. So it's a meet or beat system. All you had to do was meet what I did. You exceeded. So do you want to lower the tempo or gain a point of feedback?
I want to lower the tempo. I feel 9 feels high.
All right. You look around, and it does feel like every door there is something coming in or people rushing it. But as you're looking around, you do see the scaffolding of the stage, and you also see skylights with, scaffolding running over the audience, different stage lighting pathways up above that are hidden usually from view, but you can make them out, and if you could get up to one, doesn't look like there's anybody up there. And I will also say, this is a storyteller style system, and you are also part storytellers. So if there's ever things that you want to embellish on anything within the story, it is something you can do. All right.
Can Maddie shout out? She'll look for the other two and shout up and start heading towards one of the scaffolding on the stage.
Absolutely. Let's go ahead and have everybody start making bold rolls.
Okay.
Yeah, everybody's going to make a bold to start making your way for that scaffolding, pushing your way through the crowd, however you want to do it. If you want to describe it in a different manner that you think fits better and uses one of your other stats, you're welcome to do it. But baseline, if all you're doing is going for the scaffolding, I'm going to say it's a bold.
I want to do something as I go to the scaffolding, sorry, depending on the timing. That doesn't mean that I need to be first, but that I need to do something on my way to the scaffolding if we're all going to get there together, if that makes sense. Ewan, sorry,
All right.
over to you, sorry.
No, all I was going to say is that Maddie she'll look for like a massive speaker or something on stage to kick over on the way over to the scaffolding, just for flavor.
All right. Well, just for flavor, but at the same time, if you're actually trying to create a distraction or something that would stop your opponents, you could be using witty. I mean, remember that it's all about your actions to change the story.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so she sees like a speaker front of stage, I guess, and pushes it out kicks it out towards the oncoming fuzz stroke pigs.
All right, let's go ahead and you can roll with your witty, and I'll be rolling with tempo, which I believe is now at an 8.
Mhm.
I rolled a 3, that puts me at 11.
No. I rolled a 2 plus a 7 is a 9.
Started so badly tonight.
So yeah.
All right. You find yourself, you run over to push over the stack of speakers, and for a little bit of flavor on my end, as you do, you push them over and they just fall over really easily. You notice that they're actually just cardboard cutouts. I don't know if you've ever seen pictures of backstage at a Kiss concert.
No, but I can imagine.
It's a fake.
Yep.
She suddenly seems less impressed with their the punk
all the
that were
equipment.
coming
Yeah,
here to trash. Yeah, to take over the show, with realizing that she's been performing on stage
All right.
with cardboard cutouts.
I'm taking the tempo back up to a 9.
Oh.
So, going to Ben.
I'm going to try and make it to the scaffolding if I can. And get as close to Maddie as I can as well. See if we can get alongside each other. That might prove to be critical. But as I'm moving, can I see what Ricky's doing? Because he said he was sort of setting out to do something en route. Can I see what he's doing and see if he needs my assistance?
Ricky, that's up to you. You are your storyteller. You have your own ability to decide what your character is doing in this scene. Is it going to be obvious to Ben what you're doing?
What Ben will see is, but you will need to know this, John, because I need to ask about things. What Ricky is doing, as he's seeing the scene happening, he's looking for one of three things. He's looking for fire alarms, smoke detectors, like sprinkler systems, or fire extinguishers. So he's like, what Johnny would see is like, first up, Ricky's like looking towards the ceiling. Then his eyes are trying to catch the side to look for, fire extinguishers, fire alarms, anything that can cause a little bit of extra chaos, I guess, in the moment.
I will say, so Ben, you do see that, you see Ricky looking around, and maybe you're able to piece that together. But I will also say that for Ricky, you notice that yes, all those objects are in the room and available. But for you, I'm actually going to spend one of my points of feedback and increase the test for you to get to one of those to a 10.
Ricky, what Ricky wants to do, ideally, is get to a smoke detector with his lighter, because I like the idea of water raining up on high on these especially on the fuzz. They'll get weighed down. They'll be like wet dogs.
I like it.
The stink they'll give out, terrible.
Now, just a reminder, and this is one of the neat things with this game, is the ability to do a team up.
Yeah,
now,
that's what
obviously, I
thinking,
have a
Johnny.
10. Yeah, if I have a 10 with rolling with my D6, you two can find a way to team up together, and it would be Luke. It would be one of Ricky's stats with you rolling a D6 and adding a D6 from Ben.
Yes, perfect. So
That sounds good to me.
So Rick
I'll help if I can.
Rick will lean over to Johnny and he'll sort of shout across stage, "Johnny!" And he'll sort of point towards like a smoke detector on one of the walls. He'll say,
Cool.
"Give me a bunk up now, quick! Come on, go on,
Excellent.
man. Between us, we can reach it."
I will do that. I will grab hold and help him up towards it to get his lighter underneath it.
And Rick will start trying to spark his lighter while sort of bouncing one hand on the wall and his sort of groin around Johnny's shoulders, trying to spark the light to get and sort of cover it to get it lit up.
All right, so the two of you together. I mean, I would normally say loud, but I could also see bold for this kind of action. So, which one do you want to go with for Ricky?
Ricky would go for loud, please, on that.
All right, so loud plus each one of you roll a d6, and I'm rolling with the 10 because I spent that feedback plus my d6.
That's 3, I'm afraid.
That's a 7 plus 5 plus 3 is a 15 then.
All right, I rolled a 5, which this is a meter beat system. You hit it right exactly.
Oh,
Nicely done.
As he sort of the beeping goes off, Ricky gives Johnny a slap on the side of the head like a friendly, "Come on!" as the water starts raining down.
Lower the tempo, or both of y'all take a point of feedback. Which one is it?
It's 9. It was just for that one. For me, it was 10, right?
It was 10 only for that one because of the use of feedback. Tempo is currently a 9. You could drop it to an 8, or both you and Ben can take a point of feedback.
I'll give us both a point of feedback, please.
cool.
There you go.
That works.
Now, come on, let's get to these. Let's go join Maddie. Let's get the hell out of here.
So the sprinklers go off. The smoke is now coming as the water is hitting exposed electrical lines in the room. And so things are just, it's that sound of, the buzzing and popping of electricity. The lights in the room go dark now at the lower levels.
That sounds like our first song, Johnny. Well, that sparking popping. Do you remember? No wonder everyone left.
Yeah. Remember it well.
We
Not
called it
fondly, but
we called
well.
we called it the prog song, didn't we?
Oh, was that what that word was? For some reason, I thought you said frog.
That explains why you had all that green body paint for weeks.
Exactly. If I'd known, it would have been a very different show.
Being
So,
a cape instead.
You do manage to make it up through that first section of scaffolding, and there is now that long series of bars that run out over the stage, with the various lights and of every kind, the cans, everything draping down below. But you're out of reach of most everything. But you're looking, and you're gonna have to find, you're gonna be climbing ropes and cables from here to get up to the pathways above that are, these walkways over the audience. So, that said, as you're looking around, everyone roll a d6, and I'll whoever rolls highest, I'm gonna give a little bit more information.
That's 6.
Beats me.
4.
Mine's a 5.
Oh,
4, 5, 6.
nice.
Then there is a figure now, up on the walkways above. You're only able to make out the silhouette of whoever it is, but there is someone up there now.
Okay, and they're above us, further up.
Yes.
Are they across as well, or are they directly above us?
They are probably about halfway across the room,
Okay.
and they're just standing there, seeming to watch.
All right. I mean, I'll yell something out to the others, but at the back of my mind, I'm thinking this could easily be a cardboard cutout. So I do have a quick question. If I glance at the cables that are sort of rigging this this thing, are they taut, the cables? I mean, they like steel wire cables that are turnbuckled really tight, or are they just safety cables?
Most of them are turnbuckled incredibly tight, and then there are also those thick electrical cables.
Okay.
If you've ever worked in stage lighting, I mean, these
Mhm.
are these are snakes. These
Yeah.
are about that thick around. Some of them.
Yeah, as thick as your wrist, that kind of thing.
Mhm.
Okay, I'm looking at the chaos below and realizing that this is one of those moments that you can't miss. I'm going to see if I can play the steel support cables, please.
All right.
I want to see what note they provide.
It's got epic written all over it.
I say let's go for it.
Yes.
Go ahead
Talking.
and let's go loud on that.
Okay.
Is there an effect you're trying to do, or are you just trying to gauge what the note would be?
I'm trying to find out what the note would be. It's a sort of intellectual curiosity, but I'm also thinking if it does make a coherent note, it could be very, very loud on such a a long, deep cable. It could send a sort of booming, crashing sound through, and maybe distract people, maybe cause a bit more alarm, maybe make people think the whole thing was crashing down and make them flee. You never know.
Well, here's the fun part, and this is a little bit of a Foley thing, actually, Foley sound effects.
Mhm.
You pluck the note of this cable, and it sounds like the blaster from Star Wars.
Oh
Yes. Yes.
Fantastic.
So, which is actually, if you don't know in the audience, that's where that note comes from. Is they were actually banging the lines of, electrical towers. They were hitting the lines that helps to support it.
Okay. Well, if I can time it, I'm going to actually point an imaginary blaster down into the crowd as I time it and give the impression that I'm in fact firing a blaster into the crowd.
Pew pew.
We are going pew pew all the way here.
But much better.
All right. Just for fun, does anybody want to help on that roll? Does everybody here have an idea of what they're trying to do? Let's start that way. Because I mean, right now, Ben is going to have a fun time, making blasters at the audience. What about for you, Ewan? You got an idea of what your character's doing in this moment?
Maddie would still be making her way to the walkway, I guess, seeing as she's not aware of the figure there.
All
Yeah, so I guess maybe she's climbing along a different cable. And perhaps when she sees Johnny plucking on this cable, she'll try and give it a bit of a kick, like lift her legs up and give it a bit of a kick with that to help him out as she goes.
All right, so you can assist with the D6 on that. What about for you, Luke? So they're going to be doing this action. Do you know what Ricky is going to do?
So Ricky was up ahead of Johnny, so he wasn't looking behind, so he didn't see Johnny's first action. He was looking up towards Maddie, who was above them, and he almost bumps into Maddie as she stops to pluck. So he has to pause to straighten his hair, of course, with the punk god's comb, because it's been ruffled by this whole thing.
All right.
I feel like the quiff's getting bigger by the second. And then he sees what chord is being played, and so he goes to like a good bassist. He makes sure the one next to it is silenced to get a pure note.
All right. Well, only one person technically can assist. I'll let you. I'll let your action lower the difficulty just for this one. So that'll put the difficulty. I believe we're currently at an 8.
Okay.
And so that has, Ben and Ewan rolling your D6 with that witty.
Okay. D6 plus witty. Okay, that's a 5 plus my witty is 6, which is 11. And Ewan?
Yeah, mine's a 6.
I rolled a 6 on my dice, but that puts me at a 14 with y'all at the 15.
Oh, that is fantastic.
All right, and again, do you want to turn this into lowering the tempo, or both y'all getting a point of feedback?
I think feedback is probably the way to go at this point. Yep. I like more feedback. It'll give us more options later.
All right.
Produce the most beautiful song ever.
Yeah.
Thanks, Ben. Very kind.
You begin to hit this wire that's hanging on this scaffolding, and you hear that telltale sound, and it is actually fairly loud. And pretending that you are, shooting down into the audience with your Star Wars blaster, they begin to duck and cover. There's people now screaming, trying to flee. The cops are taking cover. And I'm going to say, go ahead and roll me that D6 again, all three of you.
Okay. Another 6. Look at that.
It's not me. You won.
Mine's 5 again. Beat me.
Well, so Ben, with Johnny, you look up again to where that figure was above you, glancing upwards, and you watch as their arm stretches out in front of them, and a spectral instrument begins to form in their hand, as if coming from a whirlwind of energy that is in the air, but forming in a very odd, almost flowing manner. And you watch as they begin to hit a series of chords and stairs, and not so much stairs, like emerging from below the stage and flying into the air, you see these giant manta rays of a purplish energy. Okay. And they form in the air before you, forming a staircase leading up to one of these walkways now. And yelling from up above, they say, "What are you waiting for? Well, come on."
I don't need to be told twice. I empty my blaster pistol with the final shot, glance at it, know it's useless, and throw it into the crowd, and then charge up the manta ray staircase.
Monkey Tails. Sorry. Good evening, Monkey Tails. Thank you for joining us. How are you doing? Good stream. Ben was bigging you up when we were chatting when he joined us earlier. Said it was a fantastic stream you were doing. Look at all our faces here. Croy, long time. Russink, all you lot, Merry Christmas to you all. Happy New Year. Thank you, Infinity. Thank you for joining us. Pirate, of course. I hope you had a wonderful stream, guys. And I hope we can keep your attention for a short time with some good old-fashioned punk and glowing manta ray staircases. A classic combination.
Purple, glowing manta ray staircases.
Well, it is one of those things that to point out and just give a little bit of embellishment. In the system, you are, of course, a storyteller, and when you play a riff, you describe the effect of whatever's taking place. So the bare outlines of what is happening is there. You provide the embellishment. So this is obviously a riff, and that has to be another punk up there in this walkway.
Yeah.
Is everybody going?
I certainly am. I'm running up as fast as I can, yeah.
Yeah, Maddie will. For sure.
When you get up there and you arrive on the walkway, this figure of a young woman, shaved sides of a head, mohawk, white sleeveless shirt, checkered pants, says, "There's somebody that wants to talk to you. If you want to get out of this, I can you can either run away or you can follow me. Your choice." But they said they wanted me to tell you they can make this all disappear.
Given that I'm definitely sort of stepping a little bit closer towards her and looking over my shoulder to see if the guys are coming. But since we practically match, I'm thinking this could be my long lost punk sister.
Oh, Johnny, she looks like she could be your long lost punk sister.
Exactly.
You don't say.
An amazing thought. What a coincidence.
It makes me trust her, man. I think we should follow. What we got to lose? Nothing to lose, right? Come on.
Well, so far we've been in charge of ourselves and it's all gone horribly. So let's let someone else take the lead for a bit.
We totally had this under control. I don't know what you're talking about.
You watch as they run down this walkway, trying to lead you as they, this yell over your shoulder. Well, then follow me. And they run to the end of this walkway, and all that is there is a wall. Down below you, you watch as the pigs and these other people are now trying to climb the scaffolding, trying to come up the way you did. A few of them try and jump onto the manta rays, and even as their feet touch them, they dissipate and they tumble to the ground.
Maddie chuckles.
The figure pulls out a can of spray paint and begins painting on the wall. And just, says, "Just a moment." And as the paint leaves their can, lands on the wall, it's as if a scene on the other side is taking life. And it takes about a round or so. You see that the pigs and everything have now made it up onto the walkway, and they glance over their shoulder and say, "No time to lose," and dart through into the paint. Oh, I think we just lost Ben.
Yeah, he's having one of his dropout moments, isn't he? Bless him.
I can still hear you guys.
Yeah, he can still hear.
Oh, I can still hear Ben.
Yeah.
Oh, he's ethereal. No.
He's a poltergeist.
He's a polka.
Yeah. I can
There
still
we go.
hear you. I'll give it a second, see if it comes back. If not, I'll hit reconnect.
You're back.
Wait.
I can see.
I've got your picture back.
Lovely.
Yeah.
All right, but they charged through this painted door that they created from the spray paint can, and enter into another location. Are you all going to follow?
Definitely. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, charging through there. Looking back over my shoulder a little bit as I do, just to throw two fingers up at the assembled crowd below.
Yeah, Maddie will, I suppose, give a shrug, look around, and mutter a swear word under her breath and follow through.
It is a scene of chaos, and you actually do see about 50 feet, maybe more away, that the authorities have made their way up onto the scaffolding and are now heading towards you as you go through that doorway. But as you emerge on the other side, looking back behind you, you find that you aren't in the same place anymore. In fact, there is nothing on the other side of that doorway but darkness.
Ooh.
For those of you, if you had chosen a different character, there is a graffiti doorway is one of the
Yep.
kicks you can do.
Oh,
Graffiti doorway sounds cool. Just wish I could see. That's the that's the downside.
Well, you find yourself in a brick hallway, a industrial kind of roof overhead, plaster, and you are in a different building. Now, obviously, we are not in the same scene, and the tension leaves the room. You are now at a 7 for tempo.
Okay. Excellent.
So,
can we still see the woman?
yeah, she turns around and looks at you and says, "Okay, well, you're all here. Follow me down this way." And you go down a hallway. There are no doors here. It's just more rooms, more of the same. Hollowed out industrial building. The red bricks smell of dust and not really any furniture. But up ahead at the end of the hallway, you see a door, an old steel door, rusted. And with as if uncaring, this figure walks over, opens the door. It squeaks and squeals on the hinges as it opens and enters into a room. It's a large room, about 20 feet by 20 feet.
Mhm.
And the only thing in the room is a singular chair, an office chair. And there is a figure seated in it and a light at ground level, shining on them. One of those, almost a stage light, that's shining on them. The shadows of the stage light playing with the chair a little make the legs coming off of it almost in the shadow behind them seem to almost be spider shaped.
Okay. Yeah, following in, please. Following into the room.
Maddie will test it a little bit first to make sure it's a real door rather than one of those graffiti doors, but she'll follow through.
It's real and it is heavy. And as soon as all of you are in, the punk closes it behind you. The figure stands up and it appears to be a one of the norms.
Norm
Oh, that's unexpected at this point.
is unexpected.
He's dressed in a fine suit, and he stands up and approaches you and reaches out to shake each of your hand. Hi, it's nice to meet each of you. That was quite a scene you set back there. I'm Mr. White. And he actually will reach into his pocket and pull out a business card for each one of you. And it does read Mr. White, but it is spelled Wight.
Like the isle, like the islands. Got you.
Like the island, yeah.
The islands.
Mr. White Festival. Great.
No
So-
man is an island. Except him.
Or
That's a
is
good note
he?
to go on. Okay, good night, everybody. Yeah.
Maddie won't shake his hand, but she'll definitely take the business card and stick it into a pocket in her denim
Yeah.
jacket.
I'll take the business card, and yeah, I'll shake his hand. Why not?
Ricky will take
Well-
the business card and just like slap the hand like a sideways high five.
Kind of just shakes it, the hand. And he's like, "Oh, that was something. Good job. Hey, so I represent a certain group that we'd like to see if we can maybe make an arrangement or a deal with you. So I actually represent Ratcatcher Records. Have you ever heard of us?
No.
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 Oh,
You don't represent that band back there, do you?
actually, we do. They are signed to us.
Oh, Shonda.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
Shonda.
I'm beginning to see why we might not have heard of you.
Well, you know, we have a lot of influence here. So, here's what I wanted to offer. You, the kind of advertisement you just got, that is gold. People are going to know your faces everywhere. Now, that can be a good thing or a bad thing. The bad thing is that obviously you're going to be hunted now by the fuzz and by the police. They're all going to know you.
Hmm.
Just another day in our
But
life.
well, here's the thing. You sign with me, you sign with Ratcatcher. We make that all go away. At the same time, I will personally guarantee that not one of our bands will play another one of your songs.
Well, that's part of making us go away, isn't it? How'd you get our song before?
We heard it and thought it had a good beat.
What if we just make songs that have bad beats? Would you?
That's your choice. Let me go ahead and I'll show you the contract. And he reaches into his pocket and pulls out, a series of papers, puts them down on the ground in front of you, and unrolls it. Now the thing is, as it unrolls, the letters seem to flow into place, as if
Sounds like
think
a very
almost
trustworthy contract.
they move and they skitter a bit like small little weevils. You almost think you see on the edges of them tiny legs.
Yeah. Yeah.
Look, it's a pretty simple contract. Yeah, feel free. Take a look. Read it over. And is anybody going to reach down and pick it up, or are you
No,
just going to leave it there?
I'm going to say to him, I'm not sure I can, in all honesty, sign a contract where the words move around, because they might move around after I've signed it.
That's a good point. And he just slams his foot down on the contract a few times.
Oh, let me try that. And Ricky shoves his foot down onto the contract with his dirty boots and sort of grinds it around a little bit on the contract before removing it again.
Mr. White is all smiles.
Maddie will get down and she'll read it, but she won't pick it up. But she'll get down and have a little look at it and read it.
It offers to assist you in various ways. Open up different venues for you, provide you with locations where you might be able to play. It offers, to also make your issues with authorities disappear in this instance, and can do such in the future on a case-by-case basis. However, while you are in the employ of Ratcatcher Records, you will sign with no other label and make no other agreements with them. It also reads further that you cannot act against Ratcatcher Records. But it does give you full rights to your own property.
Maddie will stand back up and she'll look at Mr. White and she'll say, just give us 1 minute. Band meeting.
Band meeting.
Band meeting.
Beckon the other two a little bit away from him. So contract, it opens up some venues, says it will sort out our problems with the authorities and we'll do so in the future.
I like our problems with authorities, Maddie.
The problems with the authorities are the best bit of the day.
Well,
it's the only reason I got into music.
you know, if we don't have problems with the authorities, if we're not fighting the system, then what are we doing?
If we can't take action against them, they can tell us to do anything, and we can't go against it, right? They can make any decision. We're at their beck and call. We belong.
Pretty
It's
much.
starting your soul if you can't
Play
go
this
against
gig.
them.
No, we don't want to play this gig. Oh, sorry.
And I just don't trust him.
Wear
He
zoot
looks
suits. You've got to wear
shifty.
zoot suits.
Okay.
I don't like the way he spells his name.
Mm.
Untrustworthy.
Yeah. Well, so are we going to tell Mr. Festival no?
I've never signed a contract before in my life. I'm never going to start now.
Well, Ricky's very hard to spell, to be fair.
It's true.
That's my thought. I don't think so.
Yeah.
It feels.
If my vote, definitely no. Don't trust him.
Do you want to? Is the punk who offered us the out still in the room?
They are. They're leaned up against the wall, kind of just looking at, picking things off their fingers, looks like. That's about it. Not really watching any of this.
Maddie will say to the other two, do you want to call her over and talk to her first and find out? I mean, I'm not suggesting that will change my mind, but
No, I'm happy to talk.
Find out,
especially to someone who actually did step in and help us out back there.
Yeah.
This one's earned a little bit of leeway, I think.
She played her instrument well, to be honest. That's got to be worth a bit of time. Music talks, doesn't it? Go on then, yeah. Johnny. She's your sister.
Yeah, I'll walk over and say
sorry.
Thanks for back there.
Oh, no problem.
You
so you gonna sign or
you work for this rat catcher guy?
I guess you could say that, yeah.
You signed to him, or you just do some work for him?
Me and my crew signed to him.
Okay. So how come you're out rescuing damsels in distress?
Got a call, and they asked for me specifically to see if I could get you out of a bit of trouble.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate you helping, but I think we're probably leaning towards saying no to White.
They look at you and kind of nod. Go ahead and, like I said, scene is tempo is currently at a 7.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead and give me an empathy roll.
Empathy roll. Okay.
Yep.
My empathy is 7.
Oh, Johnny.
Nice. I rolled a 9 for the tempo.
And I roll a 5 plus 7, so that's 12.
You catch from them more of a behavior as you're talking with them, that there is something that they want to say, but they can't. And when you say you don't think you're going to sign with them, do you actually think in their eyes there's a little bit of happiness for that?
Okay. I'm gonna reach out and just give a friendly tap on the elbow as I say thanks, and walk back to the band. Okay.
So, have you made up your mind, Ratcatcher, or this Mr. White kind of calls out to you?
I'll look back and forth at the other two. We agreed?
We're agreed.
Yeah.
Walk over to him and say, I want to thank you for your help earlier. I want to thank you for your offer. but we're going to reject it.
That's fair. Well, then this is the end of our discussion for now. I will say this. Hang on to the card. If you ever decide to rethink this, just push the card into any payphone slot, and we'll find you.
Well, that's very generous and creepy of you.
So, Dylan, authorities will probably be here soonish. So, can you get us out of here? Dylan walks over to the wall, pulls out another can of spray paint, creates another door, looks over his shoulder at all of you and says, "Good luck." And the two of them disappear from the room.
Okay.
You do hear now in the distance the baying call of sirens.
They're playing our encore.
We should move.
Yes, good.
So now we have been playing a little bit over an hour. Do y'all need a moment? Do y'all need to break or anything? Or do y'all want to keep on pushing through? Because we're probably not too far out.
Well, let's take a break because it's a good moment for it, isn't it? We've just finished a scene.
Yeah.
Yep.
So let's take a break and then we can play out the end of the adventure afterwards.
There we go.
Perfect.
Right, we're gonna take 5 minutes, everyone. Hang around or don't. I'm not your mum, but grab a drink, go to the loo or whatever, and hopefully we'll see you all in a few minutes.
Yeah,
right,
just a few. Right.
Just a few. See ya. Hello, everyone. We're back, and we're in part two of Gutterpunk. You've joined boys from the Baltic staff for this evening. We're around for a little bit longer, so please enjoy. Just put on a burst of your loudest punk music you can. Dish out your tartan kecks. Pierce your own nose with something, and settle down for the rest. John.
Absolutely. Hey, and not trying to shout out too much or anything, but I will say I have really enjoyed the new Billy Idol, EP that came out this last month or so. So go throw that on. Anyway,
A recommendation.
yeah, I will put my name out there for that recommendation. But so you're in this brick structure, this warehouse, and it is evening, but in the distance you hear the sounds of sirens, and those sirens are drawing ever and ever closer. The scene has changed. The creature has left with this punk that they call Dylan. And as such, the scene has changed. The tempo is now going to go back up to a 9.
Okay. Ricky, Maddie, what do you think?
I have a question, John. Did the doorway that they used close behind them?
It is now just a graffiti outline of a door where they went through.
So there's one. The door we came in through is the only door.
Exactly.
Okay. Maddie will say, well, we got to move. I guess we got to go somewhere.
Yeah, out maybe. Out, away from here, maybe. Away is good.
You make your way towards that iron door, that large metal door, pushing it open, and you hear that sound again of the squealing of its hinges. And now that the room is opened up, it sounds like those sirens are a lot closer than you expected.
Right. So what's around this room? What can we see once we peer outside?
So it is, of course, there's this long hallway where the doors have been removed. So doors on either side alternating, and probably about 4 or 5 on both sides of this long hallway. But you think that the door to lead out of the building is at the end. So this leads to probably the question of how you wish to handle this situation. Are you going to run? Are you going to fight? What are you going to do?
I think running would seem more prudent. But
Maddie clicks her fists and says, "But less punk."
You're not wrong. If we fight back to back.
Your call. Is this how y'all want to do it? I don't want to influence either direction, but it's your story.
What do you think, Ricky?
Ricky reaches to his inside pocket and he pulls the punk god's comb out and he slowly runs it through his beautiful, luscious ginger pompadour and puts it back in. And he rolls up his sleeves and says, "Come on then, you two. Let's do it the right way."
We're going to be legends.
You already are, Johnny.
Okay, I guess we're marching deliberately, but not particularly hurriedly down the corridor.
Maddie's definitely checking each room and just sticking her head in. Maybe looking for something, a pipe, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. I will say that there are obviously things that you could use as a makeshift weapon. There are a few crates. There are small windows as well that could offer some escape if that's what you decided to do. But other than that, it's a fairly empty warehouse.
She'll shout up to the other two. She'll grab something long and hard
Oh,
for an improvised weapon, and shout out to the other two.
Let go of Ricky.
Wait, steady on. This is not the
There's-
time, Maddie. I've told you this before.
There's windows and stuff in the rooms if you want it.
I'm going to grab something if I can find something vaguely like a pipe or a wrench or something that I can menacingly slap into the palm of my other hand as I walk.
What did you guys get from that dumpster truck that we landed in, by the way? Anything of interest? Do you remember last time? I got batteries.
I got the tea kettle, which is
Which is now taken. I didn't actually make a note of that, apparently, so I can't remember.
Oh, you might have rolled a blank.
It's possible. I think I got something, but I can't remember what it was now.
Oh, Rick will be looking around for what he can get. Is there some kind of other pole, John, around nearby? Something?
Absolutely. I mean, cinematic scene. As a part storyteller, you can decide that maybe you find something.
In which case, he rifles around a little bit before he almost trips over with a clonk a small short bit of scaffolding pole. He leans down with a smile, and he picks it up, puts it between his knees, and in front of both of his bandmates' eyes, he starts unbuttoning his shirt and revealing beautiful ginger chest hair and some faded tattoos like a sailor. And then he slowly wraps the shirt, just as Kelly turns up perfect timing. Wraps his shirt as he's slowly glistening on his biceps. And he wraps it around the pole, ties a knot, and holds it there with the lighter red in the other hand.
All right. You walk and you arrive at what you believe is the wall to the outside. The sounds of sirens now stand beyond this wall and this door that is here. And from beyond that, you hear a voice on a loudspeaker yelling out, "This is the authorities. Come out with your hands up and surrender."
Well, you heard him. We've got to come out with our fists up. I'm up for that.
I mean, the surrender bit doesn't sound like us, if I'm honest.
I must have missed that bit.
And in one last moment, as you're walking, as if it wasn't there before, right near the wall, right near this door, it's as if there is a payphone.
Ricky walks over to it and swings the metal pole at the payphone.
It clatters to the ground. Spare change spilling out of it.
Yes, a win. I'm always lucky at these machines.
Yes. Look at that, 3 bells.
He does actually fit his pockets. You never know when you need. He's been to enough places where he's had coins thrown at him that he knows it hurts. So he sets some into his pockets ready.
All right.
If you had one of those fire extinguishers, you could load up your metal pipe and improvised buckshot.
He grabs one coin and flicks it to Maddie, and he says, "Heads we win, tails they lose."
Yeah. Just standing by the door, waiting for everyone to get ready.
Are we going out or are they coming in?
If we go out, however many they are, they've all got a line on us all at once. If they've got to come in, I think it's going to make it harder for them. Also, we've done the effort of walking all the way from the other end of the building. They can do this bit.
There's
Well,
now
it can
a
at least meet
loud
us halfway.
banging on the door right in front of you.
Gonna yell out, "Who is it?"
It's the authorities. Get out here.
I think you've got the wrong house. It's just me here with my husband and my child.
Maddie can't help but laugh out loud at that.
I'm going to very loudly yell out,
Not trying
"You
to hide
guys
it.
remember the authorities? Were they the ones with the really lousy second album?"
Yeah, I think Sting played for them for a short time.
3 loud bangs on the door, and it buckles slightly at the top. This is your only chance.
Ricky takes one of the coins and pushes it out through the letterbox. Says, "How about a bribe?"
All right. The door, a fist slams into it again, and it buckles inward. A hand comes up over the edge, over the top of it, and grabs it and pulls it back through the doorway. And a figure, a humanoid pig, as tall as the door, is now standing there, and it throws the door off somewhere into the distance. And we find ourselves now in a combat.
Okay.
So outside and beyond the door, you see several of these pig-like creatures. All their uniforms are wet. And tempo, I'm going to keep it at that 9.
Okay.
So for audience and for also my players, just a reminder that this is a storyteller-based system. It doesn't matter really how many creatures are here or how many you are fighting. There could be 100, there could be 5. The tempo is still the same.
Yeah.
And also a reminder for our viewers who don't often stop by that this very rarely happens on the Boys from the Woods and stuff. So.
We're not a combat stream usually.
What we do? I'm so
Indeed.
confused now.
So let's go ahead now. You can either decide amongst the 3 of you. And now that it is a storyteller-based system, it is based on your actions that the story reacts. So we can either roll initiative and do it with the bold of your character's riff ratings, or you can decide amongst the 3 of you who wants to go first.
I'm
Well,
good either way. I
I'm
honestly
hoping
feel
someone's
as
going to play a riff, basically.
at this point, I honestly feel as though Ricky is probably the most likely to. He's established as being quite protective, but I'm happy to roll if people want to roll.
I am by its very nature of what I did, I am the closest to the door, I guess. So I'd be the first face to face for it. So where are the 2 of you? Picturing if I'm just standing by the doorway as that's ripped apart and thrown, knocking 3 smaller policemen to their feet, the floor, no doubt, like 3 floors below, skittering away. And I'm stood by the door with the pole in one hand and a few measly coppers in the other hand. Where are the 2 of you in the room compared to me?
Just behind and to the side of you, I reckon.
And just to give a little more scene dressing, you are on the first floor of a building, it seems. Looking out beyond, you see several of these cop cars with their lights flashing overhead, sirens now turned off, and a mass of police or authority basically making their way towards the building.
Is that an American? Yeah, so is that an American first floor or a UK first floor?
Probably American. So ground floor, would that be easier to say?
Yeah, we have ground floor. Yeah.
It's fine. We can translate. It's okay.
Yeah. Either way is good.
Don't worry, we speak American here.
No problem. Okay.
So Ricky sort of gives half a glimpse. He sees where Johnny is. He gives half a glimpse to where Maddie is setting up. What she's doing.
Maddie will be on his other. I mean, I guess Maddie would have gone for his left shoulder, being left-handed as most of my characters are, and swinging from this way rather than this way.
So Ricky will be in his hand. He'll still have his lighter, I guess, in the hand, in with the coins, and so he'll say, "Can I help you, officer?"
So this creature is now reaching in, his hand going through the doorway, trying to grab a hold of you next.
I'm going to take half step back and flip the lighter on, as if to to sort of a small flame towards the fingers between us, I guess.
All right. Let's go ahead and go for caustic. I think that would make sense.
Caustic, nice.
Mm-hmm.
So, and tempo is at a 9.
Yes.
So, I rolled a 4 with my 9. That puts me at a 13.
How many feedback can I add to? Because I can use it as
As many as you have in your pool.
in which case, I rolled a 5, which takes me to 11, and I do want this to work to start the combat on a positive, so I'm going to use 2 of my feedback, please.
All right. So that makes it a success for you. Do you want to raise the tempo, or sorry, lower the tempo, or gain a point of feedback?
Let's lower the tempo, please.
All right, tempo will go down to an 8, and his hand recoils from the flame. Is there something, some other effect that you're hoping to gain in this moment?
Yeah. Ricky's going to sniff. He's like, reminds me of roast dinners I had as a kid. And then I want to set fire to the shirt on my pole.
All right. So, Ben or Ewan then? Tempo is now at an 8. What would one of you like to do in this scene?
I'm going to hold on until I see what Maddie's doing, because it may have a dramatic effect on what I do.
All right. So, Maddie.
Maddie at this point has probably had enough of the authorities, and we'll just go in swinging with the pole.
All right. Charging the same creature that Ricky was. Are you going to charge pass and go for something else?
No, the same one. She'll try and keep us. I mean, she's not quite as up for fights and bold as Ricky is, I guess, but she'll try and keep a bit of distance, but swing as.
All right. Well, so stat commonly used in a fight is going to be loud. Bold is usually what you use when you're trying to, take a punch.
Oh yeah. Sorry, I just meant she's not
yeah.
quite as up for combat as or fisticuffs as Ricky is. Sure. Yeah.
All right. So scene's tempo is a 8, so I'll roll my d6, and then you roll with your loud. I rolled a 2, so that's a 10.
That's good.
That's a 6.
Oh, hey, there you go.
There we go. Maddie's arrived.
All right, so you go out swinging, and I'm going to say, if you'd like me to narrate a little bit, you come in with that bit of pull, hitting them in the side of the knee with one strike, and then swinging back again, kind of like it's a sword out in front of you or something, maybe two-fisted, and you connect with his chin, and he falls backwards, rolling away from the entrance to the building. Do you want to take that? Did you take that as feedback, or are you lowering the tempo again?
I'm gonna lower the tempo.
All right, so that puts it down at a 7. So, Ben, what's Johnny doing?
Time for the solid lick, please.
All right, let's do it. Are you going to keep it to the 3 dice, or are you going to take it higher?
I've got 4 feedback, so that means I can roll 4 dice, right?
4 dice, which would add an extra round of, an extra round that they would not be able to move.
Brilliant. Let's do that.
All right, so that's your 4 feedback right there, and roll your d6s. You're looking for that. You're going to be moving it to that 7. At this point, just for which riff are you? What is the emotion of the song that you're playing? It does need that.
It is anti-establishment, shall we say? Angry.
All right. Do you want to go with caustic or loud?
I guess loud, please.
All right. So that means that you'll be able to maneuver the dice towards that 7 using the loud trait. So let's
Okay.
get those dice rolled, those 4 dice.
Okay. All right. I have 2 4s, a 6, and a 1. I need to get them up to 7, don't I? So I can, I'm afraid, at best, get 2 dice up there.
Yeah, that's
My
a
loud
hard
is
part.
5.
Yeah. It's the benefit of just as as GM and the creator, it's the benefit of an ancient riff is that usually the crowd size, every level of the crowd requires another dice. This ancient riff actually affects an entire crowd without having to add all that dice to there.
Yeah.
But it does require that 7, which, I think Luke, you're a musician. You know the power of going to the 7th on any song
Oh,
and just
Yeah.
playing it over and over and over again as everybody waits for you to go back to the 1.
yeah, but you don't go back. You hang.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm afraid I can only get 2 dice up to 7.
All right. So, how many dice did that not make?
2 didn't make it and 2 did.
All right. So that means that I gained 2 points of feedback.
Oh.
That's not good. And I've burnt all of mine.
Yeah. Ewan, or actually, has everybody gone now? So Ewan,
Yep.
you decked one. Luke, you started that off. Ben, tempo is still at an 8 though. So coming back around, who wants to go first at this point?
I suppose with my disappointment in my teeth, I shall hurl myself into the villainous police.
All right, so go ahead and let's get a loud in with that tempo. If you want to, you can, if with your anger, you probably, are swinging away with your axe.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Loud against the tempo. Fair enough.
I rolled a 2. That puts me at that 10. And actually, are we at a 7 now? Because Luke succeeded.
Yes, we are at 7. Yes.
We are at a 7. So actually, that makes it a 9.
It won't make a difference. I've rolled a 3. That's a total of 8, I'm afraid.
Oh.
All right.
Close to that.
Oh, Johnny.
It's all gone horribly
Falling
wrong.
apart in the moment.
All right. I am going to spend a point of feedback for my action as a GM, and I am turning that failed roll into a point of damage as a nightstick just hurls out of the night from one of the police officer's hands and strikes you in the forehead.
Oh. Does that move me from bruised to bashed?
Yes, it does.
Okay. Okay.
Excuse me, everyone. The graphics can go funny for a bit because I need to add Clonk as a point spending option just in honor of Ben getting clonked. Sorry. normal stuff will come back in a second. Bear with me. Can't believe I turned it off. That's so stupid. There's Clonk. Oh no. Although everything just died then, so that's my fault. Bear with me, everyone. I'm just launching it back again. My fault. Luke was a silly Billy. How's everyone doing anyway? Everyone okay? Good. Okay, I'm back.
There he is.
Sorry, that's the problem when you start messing with things. Because I knew Socks would want to clonk. It's my own fault there. I got carried away in a
Dedication to
moment.
the clonk, though. Which
It was
is
dedication
always
to the clonk.
appreciated.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Although I can't see Ben or John. But never mind, we're back. Me and Ewan are back. Hello, every friend. Hope you're well. We'll move them back. Who can you see, Ewan?
Luke, can you hear John?
No, I cannot. I will do a refresh in a second.
He can't hear you, John. Sorry.
So that's to me. See, that's the last time I do anything midstream. Me trying to be clever. Hang on, man. Let me go. Let's do a reconnect. Let's try that. I can see Ben now as well. That's good. John might need a reset if that's okay. If you could tell him to do that. If you can't hear me. The stream's going so well until I tried to be smart. Is Ben live or is he frozen? It's very confusing.
Ben,
there he is. He just wasn't moving.
Sorry, John. Do you mind refreshing quickly? I don't know whether
Yeah,
Luke's got no audio.
I don't think Luke can hear you.
Which isn't actually going to come up on stream. But you did an amazing job of filling the void air.
Oh, did he? What did he do? I want to know what he did with the void air.
Well,
Talk
John,
about the void air.
please go ahead.
There you go. Nah, it's all good. Because if the audience didn't hear any of that, then we'll just
Yes.
keep on
Oh,
going.
Please try again.
It's super cool, though. How amazing Gutterpunk did.
Yes, you were
I was just
talking about
saying,
the Kickstarter.
while things were getting fixed, I was going to say that Gutterpunk, so we actually did about 8 times our goal for the stretch. I kept my goal kind of low. A lot of people were wondering why my goal was so low. But the thing is that I was like, my goal was to get a physical book printed, and I was putting it out there what it would actually take to get 50 copies of the book out, and we have gone way past what that was going to be. So but yeah, it has done really well, and we're actually working on other books currently. So we actually have 60% of the book for the follow-up, which will be Baroque and Palaces, which will take place during the Baroque music period and explain how the gutter came into existence.
Oh, great.
Nice.
So it's about 60% written, and then it'll go to Kickstarter at some point during this year.
Very cool.
Continuing on, though. So I think we were talking about what Maddie should do at this point, or Maddie or Johnny. Who wants to go next?
Have you got anything? Who went last? Ben went, didn't he?
Ben went.
Yes, I've just been.
Ben got nice-licked. Got clonked. Actually, I'm going to do clonk first, just because I went through all that effort to do it. There we go. Have I been able to light my poll, John?
Yeah, absolutely.
Fantastic. So I've seen Maddie go charging out. I've seen Johnny get beaten down. So Ricky is going to come out shouting and screaming at the filth that knocked Ben down, and go swinging at his head with the flaming pole, please.
All right. So loud again.
Yes, please.
And I think we said tempo is currently at a 7.
Oh, my loud's at a 7. We're going straight up.
Yep. I rolled a 2.
And I rolled a 6.
There you go. You want to lower that tempo more, or are you going to turn that into some feedback?
I will take a feedback at this point, please. I don't mind 7 as a tempo.
All right.
Oh, actually, Ricky screaming,
charging
past
out
Johnny.
into the night, waving this stick on fire out in front of you, this makeshift torch, and as the scene is progressing in such a way that they're kind of backing away from you. You see a little bit of fear in their eyes,
And all because of Lady
as if
Loud's
things are
new
changing,
track.
are changing, and not in their favor. So now going over to Maddie.
Maddie inspired by Ricky and his either the flaming pipe or the success of his action will look around and follow in suit and run further in and take a swing at the first pig or fuzz she comes across.
All right. So loud again. And we're still at that 7. I rolled a 3, putting me at 10.
Mine's a 5 plus 6 is 11.
There you go. 1 over. Do you want to lower that tempo, or do you want to turn that into feedback?
She will lower the tempo.
All right. Puts tempo down at a 6.
Ooh.
A little taken back by your actions and the way at which you've come at them. You are now actually seeing the scene begin to change. These the fuzz, or not even the fuzz. These are just the regular authority, the pigs, and they are looking at you and kind of looking at each other like, "Have we picked the wrong fight?" So coming back around, Ben, what would you like to do?
I'm gonna try again. I think at some very, very basic violence. If if I can,
Yeah.
I would like to leap back towards the next one that I can see in the row, and literally try and sort of hurl myself into him, knock him down, take him off his feet if I can.
Absolutely. Go ahead and roll that loud.
Majestic.
And I rolled a 2 with the 6 currently in the tempo. That puts me at 8.
And I rolled a 5 with my 5 is 10.
All right. You leap past past both Ricky and Maddie and land on this other cop who kind of squeals as you land on them. They fall backwards, their head actually cracking into the taillight of their vehicle, and they're knocked out as they fall to the ground. Do you want to turn that into lowering the tempo more, or are you going to take a point of feedback?
Given that they have looked a bit shaky and a bit nervous, I'm actually going to lower the tempo, please. See if we can really get them running.
In fact, they do. Tempo drops to a 5, and they're now a few of them are grabbing the people who have fallen and dragging them away towards their vehicles. Only a few of them are still standing there, and they're not really running up to fight you. They're just standing there, more in amazement and shock that you would want to fight back. And so, turning over to the three of you, how do you wish to proceed at this point? You actually could leave the scene or continue on with them.
I mean, I'm not opposed to violence, but needless violence seems silly, If they're backing off, I think we walk, just planning to walk calmly through them, as they back away from us.
Yeah, almost like daring them almost to make a move, yeah.
Maddie will definitely jolt towards one of them and try and make them flinch. But yeah, I'm happy with that. Just to prove a point.
He flinches and quickly recovers and reaches into his pocket and pulls out his phone and it's like, hey, sorry, I was on I was just, oh yeah, I can be there. Hey, this like, I'm sorry, I've got to take this call, and then starts walking away from you.
Then she slings the pole over her shoulder and struts away a bit, I suppose, at this point. Feeling quite confident.
Right. You manage to find your way away from them and meld back out into the night. There aren't a lot of lights in this area of town. And you leave the sounds of the sirens behind, and they do not pursue.
Oh, cool. Gonna in front of the others as we sort of get round the next corner or whatever, I'm going to very calmly take out White's business card and tear it in half and throw it on the ground.
He was very helpful, Johnny. He was very helpful.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Now, Ben, you just went away from me. Are we good still?
I can still hear you if you can hear me. Yep.
There we go. So you managed to make your way now out into the city, trying to find your way back to whatever place that you might call your home. In fact, let's go ahead and decide that now. What is, give me an idea, each one of you, something that is a feature of the area. Usually it's, not necessarily a building. Sometimes it's it could be, imagine any structure thereof, but go ahead and give me a little piece of what you can imagine in this area, this alley that maybe that you find, or a building that your characters tend to squat in. Go ahead and give me a little piece of what you envision in your head of what this place looks like.
Maybe a cellar under a dive bar or something like that.
For me, on that same corner, if there's a dive bar on the corner, like two of the opposite corners are both taken up with like competing convenience stores.
Yeah.
They're big chains, but they're so desperate to have control of it that they've always been slashing prices against each other, and some of the windows are a bit boarded up because they're trying to save as much money as they can. And
Okay, so dive bar, two convenience stores. Okay, you got
Yeah, I
anything you want to add to
definitely.
that?
No, I like this cellar idea. I think it's got those classic like detective or film noir stairs down and a door at the bottom that's got like a flashing light, and it's quite run down.
Yeah.
I guess it's a dive bar; it's going to be run down anyway. But yeah.
There's
I
a
like
slight sort of CBGB's kind of vibe about the place, I reckon.
Yeah.
Nice.
Graffiti and stickers upon graffiti and stickers.
Yeah.
They're bands that have played there over years.
I mean, you can't actually see the graffiti for all the graffiti on it.
Exactly. Yeah.
Maybe a prominent piece of like a door graffiti, just for the opposite of foreshadowing.
Aft shadowing.
Yeah, aft shadowing. Definitely, that's the one. But somewhere around there, there's an ornately graffitied door on a wall that is actually not a door. But
yeah, it's just a door just standing there against a wall.
Maybe.
As you arrive, it takes you a few hours to make your way back, and it is late. But as you arrive at this place that you call your home, headlights on a vehicle out front turn on, blinding you in the eyes a little bit. And I'm going to set the tempo as several figures come around. And we're going to set the tempo at a 8.
Okay.
These figures look a little bit similar to these, what you're used to from the norms. But these guys, they aren't the same physical attractiveness. In fact, they all are wearing sport jerseys, a little bit of a beer gut hanging below their shirts. They are all carrying different pieces of equipment, sport equipment, a lacrosse stick, a hockey stick, a golf club. And they one of them struts out in front of you and says, "We saw you on TV. You know that isn't right."
Ricky looks down at the hockey stick, and he says, "It's a bit late to play tennis, isn't it? You must be here for other motives."
You could say that.
Look, friends, we have no trouble with you. Why trouble with us? We're just 3 friendly musicians. It's late, we're tired. I want to go over there, get some dirty chicken from the place, chow down with a beer and some trash TV. My boy here, he's been struggling for his musical vibes tonight. He just needs a bit of a play on his instrument by himself just to get back up to peak performance.
So you got no problem with us then, huh? You don't want any trouble with us.
Ricky
And they all
looks
kind of
suspiciously at
chuckle
Maddie.
amongst themselves.
Yeah.
Looking at
No, you
Maddie's.
don't need any of your chess equipment here.
Listen, I've got plans. I'm washing my hair. She gestures out to the Liberty spikes on her head.
Probably should get rid of that ridiculous do. Need to be making something more of yourself. You sure you don't want any trouble with us?
Got no beef with you.
One of them walks over to the place where you usually squat.
Mhm.
Hits a window out with their club. You sure you got no trouble with us?
Oh,
Well,
Mate,
you
they-
see, now you're starting to irritate me.
you have to knock the other one out now to make it balanced. Johnny don't
Yeah.
like it if it's all unbalanced.
Knocks out the other one really quickly. You sure you don't want any trouble with us?
Well done, Ricky.
Thanks, Rick.
Another one walks away from you and starts walking towards the door to your place.
How many of them are there?
We'll go ahead and say there's about 4 of them.
Ricky will sort of point at the one that smashed out the window, and he'll say, "See, I don't have a problem with you. You're quite pretty. I like you. Your mate there, the one with that stick, and that one over there, just points to one of the others. I'm not too keen on them. They look a bit funny. Maddie, did you spot that? Something's not quite right about them two. Don't know what it is. They're breaking my juju, man."
They look like shit. She's fed up of people breaking her window. she was going to be quiet and play off the other two, but Ricky called her out. And she'll stare him straight in the eye as she says that, or at least the guy who's speaking.
Okay. He looks, oh, so maybe we do have a little bit of trouble. We need to work something out, huh?
You'll be paying our
Sure.
electricity bills with that draft.
You
Look,
know
we'll
what's
make you
quite
a deal.
hard to work out? Euler's tangent equation. Can you do that one?
They all kind of look amongst each other, kind of confused.
Maddie does the same.
Look, we'll make you a deal. Go someplace else because we really don't want you here. And we'll leave you alone. Or we
I'll
can
make
trash
you a
this
deal.
place.
You fix our windows, we'll go somewhere else.
They look at each other a little bit confused with that one too. So if we fix the windows, you'll leave.
Maybe. But the windows will be fixed.
Roll witty.
Is it though?
They're not too hard to outsmart sometimes.
It's a 6 plus 7.
I rolled with
You're
that
really bad
tempo of the
for that
scene.
roll.
I rolled a 4. You still beat me. So you want to turn that lower the feedback, point of feedback, or lower the tempo?
I'll grab the feedback, I think, at this point.
All right, you get a point of feedback. Okay. Hey, Bill, you got anything in the truck to fix the window? And the group of them, basically they walk around to the back end of this work truck, toss in their sticks, and start getting to work fixing the place.
As they're fixing, Ricky's going to run past Maddie and say, "I'm just going to go to the cheaper of the two convenience stores to buy some beers." He shakes his change-filled pocket. "Buy some beers for us to treat the workers." He gives her a wink.
It's a good idea. I'm going to
Bottled beers,
perch
of
down
course.
on a.
Glass bottled beers.
Yeah. I'm going to perch down on the edge and just start gently jamming to give them something to listen to while they work.
Inspiration, you bardic inspiration, you.
Awesome. I'm gonna let one of
Maddie,
you do
you,
an. I'll between the two of you, between the beer and the music, go ahead and give me an empathetic roll,
Okay.
and you two, y'all can team up on that.
Okay.
So I'll be rolling with the tempo on that.
I have empathetic 7. Plus 5 is 12.
Oof. All right. So I
3
I
is
rolled
15.
a 5 with a 5. So that's a 10 for me. Y'all definitely exceeded. If there was any malice in them, it seems like it's drained away. And they kind of forgot what they're doing there, but at the end, they're like, okay, well, I guess we fixed it. Bye, and they drive off.
Thanks, guys.
Maddie will say, "We'll just go pack."
And they look at each other as they're driving off, and you hear from like the window of their vehicle as they're driving. They're just like, why were they packing again? And the shop owner above your door, above where you're staying, walks out and looks at you as this like, and is probably one of the bolt heads of the town, which are usually kind of dumb, not very. They'll go to work, go home, sleep, go to work kind of individual, but they have that almost Frankenstein monster look to them. They walk out, they're just like. They look at the car driving off. They look at you, and they look back at you, and are like, "Go bed," and walk back in.
Yeah. Got any beer left, Ricky?
Ricky looks at the second crate that he's still got. He has a 6-pack for the one. He's still got another 6. And he reaches in and tosses Johnny a bottle. And grabs one for himself and bangs the top off on like the edge of the step. Chucks one to Maddie if she wants one.
The door swings
She'll catch
open
one.
again, and the shop owner walks out and hands you a business card, or holds it out in front of you.
Ricky takes it and hands the shop owner a beer.
He looks at the beer, and he's just like, drinks it very quickly, nods, and says, "He said, quit tearing it up," and goes back inside. And it is a business card for Mr. White.
Are there any? Is there a payphone around?
There is.
Maddie will hold up a beer to Johnny. Sorry, to Ricky, and walk over to the payphone and smash it.
I'll carefully take the replacement business card from Ricky and go. So this is like he's fly tipping these onto us now, but I will stick it back in my pocket.
And you manage to walk into your dive, your sometimes in the punk scene what we call a boat.
Mhm.
And we're going to go ahead and call our story there for the evening.
Thank you so much.
Which is good because Ricky was quite cold. He'd not had a top for the last little while. Quite chilly.
Yeah.
All right.
You stripped
And-
off early tonight.
Yeah.
That is the wonderful world of Gutterpunk.
Ah,
So
good job.
I hope you all enjoyed that. I did promise my players that I would explain a little bit about Mr. White.
Yeah,
A
A lot of
please
it, a lot of the things that are in this game, like if they're not a representative of some of the structure and authority and all the establishment parts of the world, they are things that I've that are taken from the music industry. And Mr. White is actually based on something in the music scene here that we call a ringer.
All right.
So, for those who don't know, I was in a punk band for well over 10 years and in the music scene for about 20. Briefly signed to a little punk label, local label called Good Guy Records. But what a ringer is, and this is a real job was a real job in the music industry. Modern music and digital music has changed it a little bit. I don't know if this is something that you run into in the UK, but what it is that an individual will show up and introduce themselves to a band and say, "Hey, I work for this label. I work for this record company," and their job was to get you to sign on the dotted line.
Mhm.
Now, the idea of a ringer is that you aren't signing a record deal. You're actually just signing that you won't sign with anyone else.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
And so what they do is they ensure that you never signed any other record label, and it's called a development deal. And they help develop you, but they are taking part of your proceeds under the idea that at some point they'll decide you're worthy and you'll get a record.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That sounds cynical as ever.
Yes.
And it's a real job that existed. Like I said, digital music, the entire market, the ability to self-release yourself and record in home studios has changed the industry so much.
Yeah. But it sounds reminiscent. If you're a screenwriter, there are people who buy up screenplays to put them on shelves. They buy up the rights without the actual intention to turn them into a film. Because by doing so, they can effectively stop someone else releasing your script. And they can buy those rights with no requirement to release the film or make the film for say 7 years for a comparative pittance, because you don't really get a decent payoff until they start making the movie.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's a weird, crazy world, and the way that
Yeah.
corporations work. So
It is.
But there you go.
Thank you, John. That was enormous fun. Really, really fun, and it kind of suited our the way we normally do things. This game, because it's sort of creative and weird, and we can do whatever whatever we like. Really, it's fantastic.
Yeah, prepare another adventure for us at some point, please, John.
Absolutely.
Good
I will
man.
happily do so.
Please. It was really good.
It was enormous fun. Thank you so much, and congratulations on getting the Kickstarter fully funded. That's fantastic, and fully funded multiple times over. That's brilliant.
Thank you. Yeah, no,
Jesus.
I'm beyond happy, and like I said, we're actually have a follow-up book in the works that will be for the Baroque music period, and will actually explain how the gutter came into existence. And
Wonderful.
I'm loving writing that book because I'm actually also tracking down anti-establishment and essentially punk songs from the 1600s, and there are some.
Nice. That does sound like quite a cool thing to be doing.
So
That is
it's
very
been
cool.
a absolute blast getting that one worked on. So
Just quickly, for anybody who may have missed the Kickstarter, the Falls, is there anywhere that they can still get Gutterpunk from?
So right now, what is happening is we're in the last stages of production. An alpha copy has gone out to all backers right now, so that there is a copy in their hands. My goal was the moment the Kickstarter ended, within that week, you would have a copy to be able to play. And it was already fully laid out. Just had artwork that needed to be reassessed and done. So that's gone out. Right now, we have a few characters for people who paid to make characters that will be in the book. Those are being finished up, and then it's going to print. The moment I get the print copies back and those are sent out to our backers, it will be going live on DriveThruRPG and itch.io. So both those locations, the game will become available there. And then at that point, after about a month or two there, we will actually open it up for people to be able to order more physical copies.
Brilliant.
Cool.
Could you, when you make it available for people who aren't backers at the moment to buy it as a download from DriveThruRPG, could you let us know, and then we'll mention it when we're next doing our intro or outro for our stream, and say, for anyone who's enjoyed us playing Gutterpunk, it's now available for purchase.
Absolutely.
Brilliant.
Fantastic.
All right. Well,
Nice one. Thank you, John. Very much appreciated.
It's been a blast. Thank you so much.
And like I say,
It really has.
now that we've got a squad, now that our band has a place that I can very much visualize, it's a kicking off point for another adventure. now.
Yeah,
they're
it'll be fun to do another one.
they're a group now. Yeah,
Yeah,
looking forward to it.
and we face down the police twice.
Which never happens in real life. So hey,
Never happens in real life. No. In real life, those kind of things end really badly.
yeah.
Right, let's finish up. It's late again. So for
Yes.
us anyway, not for you guys. John's got a whole evening. Yeah, eat some crisps.
Relatively,
and
yeah.
watch some telly, yeah. Okay, so you can go listen to the new Billy Idol album you're talking about. Right.
I swear, the first song on that album is. I was like, when I heard it, I was like, oh my god, it's almost my game. I swear, my game came out before that song.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to listen to that before bed now as well. Then.
Yeah, me too.
I
intrigued us all.
I wonder if he'd give us the rights to play it as the intro for Gutterpunk next time we have John on. I very much doubt it.
See you on Twitter.
Very much doubt it.
Yes. Welcome back to the Copyright Strike channel. Yes.
Well, we can
Thank
do
you,
it twice.
everybody, for joining us. Thank you, John. That was amazing. And thank you to everyone who watched live or who's catching up on VOD. This is the Gutterpunk game, and we've absolutely loved playing it. Thank you, guys.
Cheers. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, viewers. Thank you, John.
Good night.
Take care, everyone. Sleep
Good night,
well.
everyone.